Thank you very much, Jukka. And while Charlotte comes to the lectern here, I'd just like to say that in case some of you were confused, there were European countries in the mapping as well. It's easy to remember the things that one must say in addition, but Europe is of course a core part of our project here. And we are very happy that we've managed these three cross-jurisdictional chapters where Andrew Johnston, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, presented the one on core company law, on the purpose of the company and directors' duties. And then we had the groups yesterday, and now Charlotte's and Jukka's chapter analyzing mapping papers on accounting and reporting. So that's really great. And now we will move on to discuss how we can improve the situation. I'm very happy then to introduce Charlotte Villiers, and we will all enjoy, I'm sure, listening to her presentation on integrated reporting.
Thank you, Beate, and thank you. This last couple of days has really cheered me up. It's been a wonderful conference, and I hope that I contribute to that well this morning. And thank you, Jukka, for presenting our paper. It's really good. One of the things that Jukka and I discovered when we were going through all the various mapping papers, the thing that kind of stood out to us most was perhaps the integrated reporting that was pioneered by the South Africans. And it's that I would like to talk about this morning, because that really stood out as the most promising way forward. Having looked into it a little bit further, though, I would like to present a few warnings about it. So that's I see as my role this morning. Just to start off, there's a group in the UK called Tomorrow's Company, and they like to think of themselves as reasonably forward-thinking and progressive. And a statement that they made was that information is the lifeblood of the capital markets and of politics and of society. And I think I agree with that. It's a very important mechanism. Problem is that we've been stuck for a rather long time with the sort of traditional approach to reporting, and it is highly problematic. And the problems that I've listed here are well recognised and widely recognised. We've seen a huge precedence in financial performance reporting, and that definitely was confirmed by our cross-jurisdictional investigation. But the problem is that much of the traditional approach to reporting bases itself on backward-looking reports that are complex, they can't always be trusted, and they tend to be written with a compliance mindset. They usually have rather limited use for improving social responsibility, let alone sustainable corporate behaviour. And I think a particular problem is that where companies do engage in non-financial reporting, until now that has often been done separately. And by separating the non-financial issues from the financial performance aspects, that has been seen as a way of separating issues that really should be interrelated. And I guess one problem is that it marginalises that non-financial reporting. So, the concept of integrated reporting promises something for us, I think. What is it, though? Well, Mervyn King said that it's the sort of reporting that talks about governance, strategy and sustainability, and recognising that all of those three strands are actually inseparable. And an integrated report is a holistic and integrated representation of the company's performance in terms of both its finance and its sustainability. It uses a process that results in communication by an organisation, most visibly a periodic integrated report about value creation over time. And it's a concise communication, and I think the word communication is important here, about how an organisation's strategy, governance, performance and prospects in the context of its external environment lead to the creation of value over short, medium and long-term time periods. And it's a report covering different aspects of firm performance, including and beyond the financial aspects, showing how these different aspects interact. The International Integrated Reporting Council has suggested that there are 6 capitals, and these are kind of issues that we would need to find in an integrated report. So obviously the financial, but also manufactured goods, human capital, intellectual capital, natural capital and social capital. They are all recognised as relevant and that should be found in an integrated report. And the key purpose of such reporting is that it should enable users to ascertain material, financial and ESG issues and to understand how the sustainability issues have been built into the long-term strategic planning of the company. Those users should then be able to make an informed assessment of the sustainability of the company's business. And the second and very important purpose is that integrated reporting should result in more integrated thinking by the organisation itself, so that it then embraces more sustainable behaviours and practices over time. So it's about changing behaviour. It's that internalising. The International Integrated Reporting Council is in the process of providing guidance, and it's still forming documentation relevant to integrated reporting. It's certainly something that has been discovered and people are looking at it. They're taking notice of this as a potential way forward. And so this reporting council suggests that it should provide a strategic focus. There should be connectivity of information. Any such report should be future-oriented. It should be responsive to stakeholders and include those stakeholders. It should be concise, reliable and material. And the key elements include an organisational overview and the business model, operating context with risks and opportunities, strategic objectives and how the company plans to achieve those objectives, governance and remuneration, performance, future outlook, and that it would be a principles-based guidance rather than things that are very prescriptive, because flexibility is required. All sounds very nice, all of that, but actually how helpful really is it? I think that there are a number of limitations with what we're finding so far, and it's that I would like to warn us about today. The guidance so far isn't that clear. It's just full of nice words, really, but to find something really concrete in it is quite difficult. So far, the guidance doesn't give great clarity about the contents of the report or the data quality. Assurance is definitely an issue, and also that very important word, materiality. And I know some recent work has been done in the United States on that area. There are risks of marketing and capture, as we've seen with the CSR reports, and I think that there's a danger then of empty rhetoric. Because of the flexibility approach, that may lead to a limited level of comparability of the reports, and it also potentially gives greater managerial discretion, which, while that can be a good thing, it can also be problematic because it's difficult to challenge. And priority is still given to financial investors in the guidance that we've seen so far. There's also a danger of capture by the accountants and auditors, who are very, very big in the debates at the moment on this area. And there's a danger overall of capture of stakeholders, kind of stakeholder management, rather than offering true stakeholder engagement. So how can we make it better? Well, first of all, we need a clearer definition and clearer guidance on things like materiality and the required contents. We also, I think, need to involve the stakeholders much more strongly than we are at the moment to identify what is material to them and to develop and evaluate strategies and management activities. We need also to recognise the importance of scientific experts, the role of NGOs and other stakeholders in civil society. And I strongly would urge that if we go down this road of integrated reporting, that it gets formal backing by governments, stock exchanges, the EU and broader international organisations. We definitely need stronger assurance mechanisms, otherwise how credible will it be? Enforcement is an issue which we were talking about yesterday, and I think that's equally relevant in this particular context. There must be opportunities for challenge, not just for the shareholders, but for the stakeholders who will also be recipients of these reports. And I think accountants and auditors need to be strongly educated on the sustainability issues if they're meant to take a key role. So to conclude, I think that there is potential in integrated reporting, but we must make it clearer, and it must be introduced with supporting mechanisms. And I think mostly it requires honest self-reflection by companies that engage in it, and they must be willing to alter their behaviour if, when they look at their performance, they see that there are faults. Then they should be prepared to change and get rid of those faults. Ultimately, integrated reporting is not about business as usual, but its objective is changing business behaviour for the better. Thank you.